Coach Bowlin. What's going on, Coach? East Jessamine Jaguars.
Not much. Practicing a little football, doing a little in-house camp. Got a couple practices today, so we're getting after it right now, trying to beat the heat and figure out if we got a football team or not.
Now, Coach, man, since you came took over this program, you had a lot of success, Coach. Last year is probably one of your toughest years. A bunch of young cats you depended on. What kind of message could you take from last year's season to going forward?
Well, the message that stands out to me is tough times don't last, but tough people do. And so my whole coaching staff is back. I actually added some staff members. Most every player that was on the team last year that didn't graduate came back. We finished the season with probably as many kids as we've ever had in the program's history. So we got a lot of good things going. I think the kids realize it's just going to be tough when you're playing ninth graders, sophomores on the line of scrimmage in 5A football with a really, really tough schedule to win games. We were competitive. We played some teams. I felt like we left some touchdowns on the field. We gave it all we had and just played a brutal schedule. We played Dunbar and Great Crossing and Woodford County, and Madison Southern was physical. And then we ended the season with Bardstown, who went up the state championship. So, traditionally we haven't run from anybody here, but when you come up a little short, that's going to make it tough, and that's kind of what happened last year.
Now, you've been dealing with this transition. You had always been a wing T guy, and we came to the game, and I was like, wait, what's going on? So how has that been going for you, Coach?
Well, you got to make a decision when you realize you're little up front. What can you do to move the football? And so we tried to dabble last year. It was pretty evident early to us that we weren't going to be able to ground and pound. You got to have a certain type of kid up front at the line of scrimmage to do that. We didn't have it last year. But I'll say if you come watch us this year, it'll look a whole lot more like it always used to. We've got all those kids back. They've been in a year in the weight room. We've even picked up a kid or two in the hallways that are going to really help. They've got some size. So, the days of running right at people and running over top of them are coming back. That's obviously what we like to do. And I think this year could be one of those years maybe where we put this program back where it's been.
All right, Coach. You got anything you coach?
Yeah, Coach, we talk about it being a young team. You get a lot of these players back. Who are you looking to lean on this year as far as on the offensive side and defensive side of the ball?
Well, Dante Parker Morton's taking over at quarterback. He's going to be a senior. He was a slot receiver, did a lot of great things for us last year, and we kind of handed him the reins and said, you're the quarterback, and he's done a great job with it. He's got a good arm, did some good things in 7-on-7s. I saw some potential there. So we can throw it. If we need to get into some shotgun and get around, we can do that. But he's also elusively quick. He's very good with the ball. Played under center as a quarterback a little bit in middle school. So feel like he could be the man. Our leading rusher last year was Sean Reed. He had a couple big home runs on people. He's tracked fast. Sean's back as a junior this year, gotten bigger and stronger and probably 2 steps faster. So that's going to be kind of our backfield action. We've also added Isaac Johnson at wide receiver, or not added him, but he's back. Talon McDonald was a receiver we had last year that's grown up tremendously. And then Cam Smith at tight end gives us another weapon inside. James Burbage is looking really good at slot. We got Keelan Daniel back out. He was our center on the basketball team, so he can do a lot of good things. And then up front, we got almost a whole line back. Levi Hammond. We got Landon Walton, Jason Kokel, Matthew Hager. We got all kinds of guys up front that have done it before. So when you play your teams and you got a year experience, then you can call things on the fly. They understand the tempo. They understand what it's like to get ready for the first game of the season. They just have a better idea of everything that's going on. That's going to pay off dividends throughout the season for us.
All right, Coach. Now, looking at this schedule coming up this season, Coach, you open up with Wayne County, you have Anderson County, Henry County, North Bullitt, Garrett County, Russell County. Then you get into your district games, which I guess you kind of got the district's a little lighter this year.
Yeah, got rid of Woodford.
So you got Madison Southern, West Jessamine, Moco, and then you finish with Lafayette. Coach, what are your expectations for the team going into this season?
Well, I had a guy tell me a long time ago that quite often your opponents make your season more so than even you do. And if you play schedule you can compete with, you got a chance. We feel like on paper we got a chance in every one of those games. I don't think any of them are going to be preseason top 5 in the whole state like Woodford was, Dunbar was a monster last year. We ended the season with Bardstown, who was in the state championship last year. Collins was setting all kinds of records. Our crosstown rival was as good as they've ever been and had a phenomenal player that probably didn't get enough recognition in Jacob Jones.
Yeah.
So, great. Like we just every week we're playing good teams. And then the problem you face there is when you play a lot of good teams and you get beat, you start to doubt what you're doing. And then you're not as good as you probably should be later in the season. So there might be a game when you probably could compete, but because you've been beaten so many times, your kids just don't believe it. Now, flip that. If you'll win some early as the season goes on, you'll probably play better than you should later in the season and may believe you're supposed to win when you probably shouldn't. And I've been on both sides of that. I've had teams that have pulled some big upsets late in the year only because we really thought we were supposed to win, and nobody told us any different. And I've always told our coaches, if our guys ever gain confidence, don't do anything to take it away from them. Let them go out there thinking at the start of the fight that they're the best on the field. And you have to have a little success for them to truly believe that. But it flips the other way too. And they've been defeated a few times and they start to doubt themselves. Then they start not being able to do the things they can do. So it's a slippery slope. We just got to kind of get in front of it this year and start winning early. And if we do, who knows where this is going to go.
Coach, it sounds like everything's trending up for the Jaguars this season, Coach. You look energized and ready to roll, Coach. We ain't seen you this bright and cheery in a couple years, Coach.
Well, it's been a special group. I really enjoy these kids. I got a great staff. My coaching staff works their tails off and gives me everything they got. And when you got everything going in the right direction and you see some kids who put in the time, they took their licks last year, and you're kind of starting to see the potential that maybe this is the year they get to cash it in, then it starts to get exciting. My own son's on the team. He's a sophomore, so I know these kids personally. I've had a lot of them at my house spending the night, been to birthday parties with him. So this is a special group. There's a great group of kids. I really, really appreciate all the effort they're giving me. So, we're having some fun right now, and hopefully we can get this thing going.
All right, Coach. You sound like we're going to be putting them clothes on them, Coach.
Coach, man, he left you last year, Coach. Don't fall for it, Coach. He disappeared on you last year, Coach. I'm surprised he had the nerve to even come back on her and talk to you. He did you wrong. Thanks for joining us, Coach. Man, I'm looking forward to a great year for you all. Bounce back year. I know you was young. It was rough last year. But like I said, watching you in that West Jessamine game, you all was in it, I guess, prior to about the mid-third quarter.
Yeah.
You kind of lost it. So I love it.
And that happened. I mentioned earlier that we you kind of lose faith, and if you start losing a lot, then you start doubting yourself. And there's always that point in the game when the kids sense, okay, it's over. We've lost it. And a team that wins will absolutely dig in and fight that much harder. And a team that's, started to lose kind of just spits a bit. And, I use a horse racing analogy. There's a lot of horses out there that if you can't get to them, they'll just keep running. They get stronger. But as soon as you get in front of them, they kind of quit. And sometimes you just can't be that horse that just quits when you get past. You got to come back and fight back to the finish line. And hopefully we can get some success going early in this season and develop a little toughness there.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck to you, and we'll be looking for big things out of the East Jessamine Jaguars.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.